I'm Mark Brace, Senior Aviation Security Analyst with Osprey Flight Solutions, bringing you this week's update. This week, the Osprey system has registered a total of 3,285 incidents, or pings, and the analysis team has published 44 alerts since last Thursday, of which 17 were critical. It won't surprise you that many of these have covered the escalation in the conflict between Israel and Palestinian armed groups, which has seen barrages of literally hundreds of rockets fired from Gaza into southern and central Israel, with significant numbers targeting Tel Aviv, most recently in the past hour as I record this on the afternoon of 13th of May. As well as shooting down most of these, the Israeli military has responded with hundreds of air and artillery strikes. If you follow the situation, you'll know that this exchange of rocket fire and airstrikes is not unusual, but you also probably don't need me to tell you that the sheer numbers we've seen this week are unprecedented, particularly those targeting Tel Aviv, and the most since the 2014 conflict. As this Osprey Explore chart for the past 2 years shows, the numbers of rockets, shoot-downs and airstrikes have far surpassed anything else, including 3 previous periods of significant escalation. We've raised our risk levels for southern and central Israel. Frequent NOTAMs have been issued affecting air traffic in the country. And last night, Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion Airport was closed to most inbound flights, which are being rerouted to Eilat Ramon Airport while departures are continuing. Operators anticipate further short notice partial or total air closures of the airspace or airports in the coming days. Elsewhere, the Houthis have continued their regular drone and missile attacks against Saudi Arabia. An attack against Abba Airport earlier this week resulted in damage to ground vehicles, and Najran Airport was reported to be among the targets in a large-scale attack in the early hours of this morning in the southwest of the country. Earlier this week, we alerted on the ransomware attack on US company Colonial Pipeline, which disrupted the pipeline's operations, prompting fears of fuel shortages in affected states. While it serves several major airports in the eastern US, including Hartsfield-Jackson and Atlanta, airlines have so far reported no significant impacts, although some have implemented contingency measures, such as refueling stops on longer flights. While pipeline operations have restarted, it will take several days to return to normal, and we'll be issuing an update alert soon. In aviation-related COVID news, there have been further moves to ease restrictions on travel, such as the US now included at-home rapid test kits on its list of acceptable forms of testing for international airline passengers arriving in the country. EU member states have been advised to add Israel to their lists of low-risk countries, potentially permitting tourism without the need for quarantine and testing. And Bahrain will allow visitors from Gulf cooperation countries who've been vaccinated or recently recovered to enter the country without testing. And finally, Turkish authorities disrupted a migrant smuggling gang last week after a man tried to get through immigration at Istanbul airport wearing bandages and scar makeup, with an accomplice claiming he couldn't speak or walk due to recent surgery. Closer analysis revealed the man did not match the passport he was carrying, and he subsequently admitted that the legal holder of the passport was also still at the airport. All 3 were arrested. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave any comments on what I've covered, and please join us again for next week's updates.